Hi all, my name is Eva. I'm 32 years old and have a beautiful baby girl. When people usually look at me, they call me the girl who has it all, but it wasn't always like this, and this is my story. I was born and raised in a poor household. My family didn't have much, but we had the most important thing in the world, love. I know how people say that love doesn't buy food, but love is what got us out of pretty bad situations. However, my parents got sick, really sick, and we couldn't afford medicines. For that reason, I accepted a marriage proposal from a guy I barely knew. He was rich and promised to support my family. He said he would fly me off to his country and will send money to my family every month. He seemed shady, but I was willing to do anything for my family. We did a small ceremony at my home where we got married, and the next day flew to his country. He was very kind to me in the start and was even supporting my family, so I finally started trusting him. However, things took a dark turn 1 month after our marriage. He came home really drunk one day and started calling me a bitch. He called me worthless and good for nothing. I stared at him in confusion, to which he started hitting me. I was dumbfounded. I didn't know what had happened. Turned out that he just had a bad day at his office. He apologized for it later that night, and I forgave him, unable to see the red flag. From that day onwards, it became a monthly occurrence, then weekly, and then daily. I wanted to run away, but I didn't know where to go. I suffered from abuse every day for 5 months, and for what? Just because something went wrong at the office, or he didn't make enough money, or simply because he had an uneventful day. One day I found out that I was pregnant, and that was the day that I decided to run away. I couldn't ask my parents for help because they lived miles away and were already sick. I didn't want to worry them anymore, but I also didn't want my baby to live in a broken home. I talked to my neighbor asking for help. Can you please help me find a good job?
With your qualification, it will be very difficult to get an office job. You can ask my maid if her agency could get you a job.
I discussed the matter with the maid and she agreed to help. She talked to her agency, and I landed a job there, and they provided me with medical insurance and accommodation as well. I knew I had to send money for my parents as well. Because of this, I was saving very little money. A healthy baby was born 8 months later. My beautiful daughter. I had very little money. I would spend most of it on food and save a little for later. I couldn't afford any clothes for her, so I started fashioning clothes for her out of pillow covers or any of my old clothes that my employers would give me. This gave me an idea. After working for 5 years, I was able to save some money for myself. I had finally made enough money to buy myself a sewing machine. I looked at different tutorials, bought material from flea market, and started sewing clothes for babies and adults. I showed my work to the people I was working for, and they helped me market it. Soon word got out and I started taking orders. It was a really hard time, as I was working as a maid in the morning and fashioning clothes at night. Alongside, I was taking care of my daughter. But with all the hard work, I was able to make profits. My baby clothes became very popular, and I was approached by Mr. Carl, who was the owner of a big company selling baby products. He called me into his office and asked me,
I want you to make a whole collection of baby clothes for me. If your product does well, you can work with me.
I had never felt so excited and nervous at the same time. My collection was a hit. People were buying my clothes left and right. I soon started making a lot of money. I bought my own house, my car, and brought my parents to live with me. My daughter finally started school. Things were falling right into place until my husband appeared again and was refusing to divorce me. I couldn't divorce him before because I didn't have enough money to file a divorce, but I did now. It was a very easy case for me. I had a lot of witnesses who testified to the abuse. He lost the case. I was given more than half of his property and money. He was left with nothing. He finally got what he deserved. A part of me felt sad for him, and I was still grateful that he came into my life, because if it weren't for him, I may not be where I am today. I truly believe that everything happens for a reason.